What's up, everybody? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm your host, Robert Durden, and this episode is about something I never thought I would actually say or think in my entire life, but Ron DeSantis actually did something good. Now, he's the governor of Florida, and I've mentioned him on the show before. He is the likeliest to become the presidential nominee for the Republicans if Trump does not run in 2024. Now, I think Trump is going to run, so this might be moot, but if he doesn't, DeSantis has been vying for, and is the most likely to, in my opinion, inherit Trump's base. And what he did is going to only help his chances in not only keeping that base, but also it's just a thing that he's outflanking the Democrats on, which makes them look ridiculous. So I'm going to read to you here. He signed a bill into law that makes it so big tech companies can't censor you, which means they can't permanently ban you for something you say on their platform in the state of Florida. So, and I think it also makes it so that if you're running for office in particular, you can't be banned for something that you say on, for instance, Twitter, which that makes sense because DeSantis, if he wants to get all of the Trumpists as his base, he's going to need to tweet like Trump did and use his social media the way that Trump did to inherit them and run the news cycle. So I'm going to read to you here. Florida Monday became the first state in the U.S. to broadly regulate social media platforms' moderation of user speech online. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis signed a law fining social media services that permanently ban candidates running for office in Florida. The law also prevents platforms from removing content from news outlets above a certain size. That's just him protecting things like Fox News. But I don't really care about that because I just want all content to basically have protections that they can't be taken down. I don't really give a crap what. Like, across the board, I'm for free speech. So I'm just kind of an absolutist that way. It also allows people to sue platforms if they think social media companies are inconsistently applying their content rules. So this is not the best way to do this, but it's one of the things you can do as a governor individually, rather than doing something like just regulating these things as social utilities, the way that I want them to be, like the way you would regulate something like a telephone back in the day. That's what I wish they would do, but as a state, instead he's making it so that you can now sue the companies if they ban you or if they, take you down for content that they deem that's, against their community guidelines. Now, I'm all for being able to ban people if they commit assault, but beyond that, if they're just name-calling, if they're just, trolling hardcore, I don't think you should be able to be banned. I'm kind of an absolutist on free speech. So what does this do for DeSantis? It does a couple of things. It shores up the likelihood that he's going to inherit the Trumpists if Trump doesn't run. Because A, he's going to need protection himself when he uses Twitter the same way that Trump did, so that he doesn't himself get banned and censored. But B, if you take a stance on free speech in a way like this, it shows to all of those Trumpist voters that you're going after what they consider to be the root cause of their boy getting censored. So if he goes after big tech just, in my opinion, actually did censor Trump and took him down and should not have permanently banned him, then you're going to get a lot of those Trump voters to flock to you. So this is a very smart move by him, and this worries me, you guys. He's outflanking the left, because the left, now that we're in power, the Republicans don't have any power right now. You can get everything done that you want without a single Republican vote, period. The Democrats have both chambers of commerce, or chambers of Congress, so they can do whatever they want. They're just getting in their own way. And what they should do is just regulate these things like Twitter, like Facebook, like utilities, and that way you don't have a free speech issue. You don't have a First Amendment issue. And they could do that if they wanted to, but they're not going to, because of course, Joe Biden and really the Democrats, they need to censor people like Trump because they can't compete with him online. They just don't have the social media apparatus that Trump had around him. And as a single person, nobody can compete with Trump. So it behoved them to censor Trump, and it will behove them in the future to go after somebody like DeSantis. But DeSantis is on the right side of this and got this done, and now he can go, if they go after him, he can go, I'm just for free speech. I'm an absolutist on that. I haven't committed assault. You guys are just trying to censor me like you censored Trump. And he'll be right. So the Democrats, if they want to just, make sure that DeSantis doesn't have a chance at winning, which he does in 2024, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just start regulating, make all of these things like Twitter, like Facebook, utilities like you would the telephone, and regulate them thusly, nip it in the bud, and then you can be on the right side of free speech, and you can take all the power that DeSantis is now sapping away from him. And you're not going to need to necessarily censor him from what he says in his tweets when he's running, if you can just beat him on substance. He's going to do the same things that Trump did. He's a little smarter than Trump. You can still beat him. If you do a good job for the next 3 years, he doesn't stand a chance. But I feel like the Democrats would rather count on trying to censor people, and they won't do the right thing when it comes to regulating these things as utilities, and therefore DeSantis is going to have a much better chance in 2024. So he did the right thing for the wrong reasons. And I hate Ron DeSantis, but I call balls and strikes, man. The optics of this are very good. And it's only, he's collecting infinity zones, man. He's going to come up and Biden's going to be toast. If DeSantis keeps doing this and Biden keeps doing what he's doing, forget about it. Either Trump or DeSantis is going to eat Biden's lunch. Or Kamala Harris, whoever happens to run for the Democrats. Neither of them has a chance if DeSantis keeps doing this. So, by all means, Democrats, keep doing what you're doing. This anemic presidency is digging your graves in the midterms and in 2024. And if DeSantis keeps doing this, he's going to immunize himself from censorship when he runs, and he's going to smoke you guys. I don't want that to happen, but it's looking more and more likely by the day. So keep fighting the good fight out there, guys. I'll do a couple more episodes tonight.